Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So I'm currently down in the basement right now. I came down here because I'm going to do some decluttering and record it, but not for this video, probably for my next video. But I feel like I have a lot of work to do down here. I want to just empty out this half of the basement kind of so that we can hopefully get started on it at some point. I honestly have no idea when we're going to be able to get to the basement. I hope that we can just do it, but I have to like get stuff out of here so we have actually room to work down here. We have chickens down here right now. Yeah. So we have their whole tent set up down here. They have to be down here for a couple more weeks, maybe like 2 more weeks, and then they can go outside and we can get rid of the tent. Then I'll have more room to work. Anyway, I have just a lot of stuff in here that I gotta like figure out where to put. If I want to have this be like a kid space down here, and I want to like empty it out. Anyway, that's what I was going to start working on. But this video, what you're about to see is me putting down our old rug back in the living room because I am sending the washable one back because it's like falling apart already, and I just did not think it was going to last and hold up to like that active of a room. Like maybe it would be fine for like a room that you don't go in very often and it's not like a high traffic area, but our living room is so small and like we're in there all the time, and it was just like I could just tell it was not gonna hold up. So yeah, sending that one back. But these clips are just me putting down the rug again, and I like it so much better. Like I feel like it's back to normal now and I feel like settled. Do you ever like do something and it's just like you kind of know it's not right and it's just like making you feel like uneasy? Like that's how I felt when that washable rug was in there. The whole time I was just like, I don't know. Now it feels back to normal with the other rug back. And then the other thing that I finally got started on was painting the upstairs hallway. Yeah, I had been needing to paint this since we moved into the house. The whole house needs to be painted. And I got the downstairs done, but I got our bedroom upstairs done, but I didn't do the hallway upstairs or the bathroom upstairs or the boys' room upstairs yet. So yeah, just the other day I was like, I don't know, I just decided to start working on it, and I forgot that I need to like patch up the holes, like spackle, not spackle, what's that stuff called? Spackle? No. What's the stuff called you put in the holes? Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I need to like fix up the little holes that are in the walls, and then I realized that I needed to do the trim first. Like I was all ready to like do a primer coat on the walls and just like get started, like throwing the paint on the walls, but then I realized that I need to do the trim first because that just makes it way easier to do the trim first. So yeah, I ended up that day just doing a primer coat on all the trim, and I wasn't, I was gonna say it. When I painted the trim downstairs, like in the living room and the bathroom and everything downstairs, like a few years ago, I didn't do a primer coat. I just put the trim paint right on top of what was already there. And it's fine for like the areas that aren't like touched a lot, but I have noticed that in the bathroom, the kids like touch the door frame a lot, and it's starting to like wear off where they're always touching it, and it's starting to peel a little bit. So I'm trying to avoid that happening again. So that's why I decided to do a primer coat on the trim first. And it's like 123 something primer, I don't know, it's from Home Depot, I think. It's like so goopy and like gluey, it's like not very fun to paint with, but hopefully that will give it like some more adhesion and like last longer. There's probably many coats of paint on the trim right now, and maybe not too many. I don't know, how often do people paint trim? Not that often, but the trim is really old and in pretty crummy shape, but I'm just hoping that painting it will help it look better, and that the primer will help the new paint like stay on and look nice for a while. pretty much all I was up to this past week. I didn't get that much done, but I'm happy that I finally started painting, so maybe I'll be on a roll and I'll just like knock out the rest of the painting upstairs. That will be awesome. But last week I said I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about homeschooling and what I have in my head, like an idea that I want to go with. And I don't know how well it's going to work out because Greg and I have pretty different opinions on how homeschooling should go. Like, he kind of wants it to be like school at home, and I kind of want it to be more like home and then school kind of gets mixed in there a little bit. I don't know, I've just realized over the past like couple weeks that the days that we don't do school, that I'm not forcing them to sit down and like learn something, we have better days. Like, I don't know, I just like, so I find myself leaning towards like the unschooling side of things more, and wanting to take that approach towards it. The only thing with that though is that I don't know if that will work for Madison, because she's very much like opposed to learning, and like for unschooling you're supposed to like follow the child's lead, and like whatever they're interested in you're just supposed to kind of like run with that and help them to figure out ways to like learn more and just like go with it, and let the focus be on what they're already interested in. And you just kind of have to have faith that they're gonna like learn what they need to know throughout their years of schooling. They're gonna learn what they need to know at some point, whether it's at the same time as like public school does. It probably won't be, but you know, somehow along the way they're gonna learn what they need to know. But for Madison, like, I don't know, every time she mentions something that she's interested in, like, I'll try to say like, oh, why don't you like research it or like read more about it, we can get a book at the library or something like that. She's just not wanting to do that. So yeah, I feel like it would work for Chase. Like, what I've been trying to do with him is just like get his school into the day without him really realizing it, with like games, and like we'll play like spelling games where he'll like spell words on the marker board on the fridge, and he doesn't even like I don't call it school, we're just playing like a spelling game. Or like there's some math games that I want to get that I think he would like. There's one called Sum Swamp, which is supposed to be really good for like learning your math facts and stuff, so I think he would like that. And I don't know, like he writes things, like he'll write and he'll practice his writing when he wants to. Like if he just like gets something in his mind where he wants to make it or he wants to write it, like he'll go write it, and that will be like his handwriting practice and spelling practice and stuff like that. Like we started watching a show on Disney Plus. It's called, what is it called? Weird But True, and he really likes that, so he learned about caves, and I forget what else he learned about in there. He was watching something about like deep sea diving the other day, so that could count as school, you know, as like science or whatever if we want to, and he doesn't think of it as school. Like, what really like sucks is that he's already starting to say like, I hate school, and like, you know, he's never even been to school, but he's already saying he hates it because he doesn't want to sit down at the table and do like a worksheet. Or, you know, it's mainly just like worksheets that we're doing, and I can understand why he doesn't want to do that. So, but on the other side of things, I also don't want to have to like facilitate all these like learning like experiences for him. Like, I just want it to be something that we're already doing in life, and that's fine with me. I think some parents are very much into that, and like experiments and like creating, I don't know, like just like trying to make things fun and like making things for their kids and whatever to help them with their learning and stuff. And I kind of just want to like live our lives and like let school work its way into our lives, if that makes sense. So that's what I've been trying to research more of, and like, you know, learning happens through life, and just because we're not sitting down at the table and like calling it school for like an hour and a half or something, that doesn't mean that no learning happened. So that's kind of how I want to go about it with Chase and with Noah too. And I'm hoping that if I can do that, then maybe Chase won't start to feel like Madison does, even more like about hating school and not liking school and not wanting to read and not wanting to learn anything. Like, I feel like public school for Madison kind of just like, it kind of turned learning into a thing that she doesn't like. Even if it's something that she's interested in, it's like she still doesn't want to learn about it for some reason. I don't really understand it. The only thing I have to do now is convince Greg that just because public schools and schools in general have been doing it a certain way for all these years doesn't mean that that's the only way that kids can learn. Like, that's because there's like 30 kids in a classroom. Like, the way they do school is different and set up to teach a bunch of kids the same thing at the same time. And that's not what homeschool is. Like, homeschool is home school, not school at home. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So we'll see how this goes. I'm kind of ready to take a break. Like, Madison's just finishing her year of math, and then we're gonna take a couple weeks off for like summer break and then get back into it. But I'm definitely ready for a break. I've kind of already started the break with like Chase and like Madison's other subjects. We've just been like easing off of everything for a bit because it was just getting rough, and the arguing with her and like her complaining about everything was getting rough, and then Chase was starting to hate it, and I was just like, I cannot do this. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this week. Next week, or not next, I say next week because I've pretty much only been managing one video a week. But next week, hopefully you'll see some of the decluttering going on in here. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave me a sunflower down in the comments if you're still here. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.